Britpop royalty Suede will be one of the highlights. On the stage tomorrow, they'll enjoy the sunshine. They've released a brand new album. That was released yesterday. It's called Antidepressants, and it's about searching for a connection in a disconnected world.
There you go.
Well, look, we've slightly interrupted the conversation here. Brett Anderson and Mat Osman are both with us now from Suede. Morning to you both.
Morning, guys.
We best explain, because we were just having a conversation about food. We're obsessed by food on this programme. You know, it's breakfast and we always get hungry. And you were just saying, when you're doing live stuff that you'll be doing now, how do you work the food thing ahead of... Is it nerves? How do you work it out?
I was just telling you, I have to have a 4-hour window between eating and going on stage. It's like a military operation, organising my eating patterns.
So say you're on...
It sort of repeats on you when you're singing.
Is that an older thing,
no,
or was it always?
I've always done it. No, it's a digestion thing. You know?
So when you're playing Radio 2 in the Park, so I don't know what time's your set. So
oh yeah, I think it's early, isn't it?
I mean, basically we eat like retirees. You know what I mean? Like 4 o'clock, full meal. And then, you know, digest before the gig.
That's very sensible.
Yeah.
It's very sensible.
Yeah, exactly.
And nutritious, I imagine. Your body's are temples, obviously.
Yeah. And then you throw yourself around on stage for 2 hours and then you're starving again.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. No, we kind of get off stage and we're sort of ravenous. We kind of stuff our faces with pizza and stuff like that. So.
Makes a lot of sense. Now, you just brought out a new album, and we were saying in the lead-in a moment ago, this thing about people searching for... Everybody will see something in that. Searching for a connectivity in a disconnected world. One way or another, everyone's going to nod a bit about that.
Yeah, I think there's a sort of strange paradox to 21st century life where we kind of become more connected. As we become more connected, we become less connected in a strange sort of way. And there's an illusion of connectivity because we're sort of like, you know, we're kind of online and all these sorts of things. But at the same time, I think people are kind of like experiencing kind of loneliness as well. And I think my point about that is that live music, especially, is a way to connect people. And I think it's a very, very powerful tool to connect people.
It's an important message, isn't it, Matt? I mean, how are you with like mobile phones and social media and all that stuff? Because, you know, people see it as a wonderful thing, and at the same time, it can be harmful.
I mean, totally. I mean, one of the things about playing live shows is that you see that kind of connection that you don't really get anywhere else. I mean, just kind of the passion of it and the abandon of it. I try really hard not to be kind of like on my phone and on social media all the time, but it's kind of impossible if you're in a band, because what happens is, last night we played a show, and for the first time ever, like 30 seconds afterwards, you can find out what everyone thought of it. Yeah. You know what I mean? And you can check your hair and everything.
Do you check, though? Do you...
Oh, yeah.
Everyone does.
Really?
Everyone does. Yeah, of course.
Don't ever believe anyone that says they don't read their own press, because they're just lying. It's
OK, the impact, then, of it, because this is almost the antithesis to what you've done in the past.
Yeah.
You know, a real contrast. And there's always that balance with, especially when you're performing, oh, we want you to do the old stuff, and then perhaps the audience could be disappointed. What do you kind of stay firm kind of with your purpose, or do you get swayed by it?
I think it's a bit of both, isn't it? You have to kind of be aware of feedback, but at the same time, if you're making art of any sort, or music or whatever, you've got to sort of lead a little bit. You can't do it by focus group. It's got to be a sort of like, you have to have an artistic vision, which you have to sort of like I think you have to follow through. And with our last few albums, it's been very much about presenting the band as a sort of like as a creative force rather than as a nostalgic thing, you know. And it's very easy for bands of our age to sort of dip into the nostalgia thing. And I'm really keen that we don't do that. You know, we've made 5 albums since we've reformed now, which I'm very, very proud of. And I think we're kind of still developing our sound, we're still evolving, all those sorts of things, you know.
I listened to the album. One of the songs I really liked was Broken Music for Broken People.
Oh, thank you.
But it seems quite sad.
Yeah. Well,
Who's broken?
I think everyone is. I think we're living in extraordinary times. I think there's lots of sort of like I said earlier, lots of dislocation, lots of fracturedness. And I think kind of, again, it's sort of like one of the themes of the album is sort of trying to mend people through music, which sounds slightly evangelical and maybe a bit deluded. But there are things in life which I think you can kind of gravitate towards that can heal you, you know, and music's one of those things.
Do you two, when you're putting the music together, writing the music, do you two talk about how you both feel about life when it goes into the music? I'm kind of interested in your relationship.
The whole point is, lots of this stuff, when we talk about the records, you only think about it afterwards. it's very natural when you're doing these things, you know, that they come from a different kind of place from talking about it. Afterwards, we're kind of like, oh, that's what it's about.
Yeah.
But at the time, you're just trying to make a noise that excites you, you know what I mean? That's interesting, we haven't done before.
You know that thing you said about music being a great healer? I think lots of people get that. And have you got occasions when you've been at someone else's gig? And I'm happy for you, you know, to give someone else the plaudits here of going, do you know what, this makes me feel good.
Yeah.
You know, what place and time would you have been?
Oh, God. Well, I mean, you know, most recently, we did a tour with Manic Street Preachers, and I would always watch their set from the side of the stage, and there were a couple of songs which are just absolutely amazing. And when you see I love that thing when you see the audience and the band in utter unity. That's really, really exciting when you have like thousands of people all feeling the same thing. There's something really atavistic about that. There's something, it almost reminds me of some sort of primitive scene where you'd be gathered around a fire or something like that, you know, as kind of cavemen or something like that, and you'd be singing the same song. There's something very communal and very and really inspiring about
I like that, Matt. You were smiling about that.
I love the way you listen to that.
No, that's great.
Do you that feeling?
Yeah,
he was smiling. He was agreeing.
8 out of 10. I would say.
Yeah.
He normally does sort of like, you know, rabbit ears behind him and stuff like that. So it's, you know,
No, he was on board the project then.
You know.
Do you know when you get Matt? Do you know when you were describing that moment? You see yourself in tandem with the audience. Do you know a day, a gig, and it's like, yes, this is, you know it straight away?
There's always a moment where it tips from kind of like 5,000 people to a crowd. You know what I mean? 5,000 individuals. There's just a point where it goes off. And from then on, you can kind of do no wrong. But the interesting thing is, it's not necessarily about us. We can be really, really good, and if the crowd isn't in that mood, then it's not a great gig. And we can be a bit shoddy, and if the crowd is up for it, they just...
I'm sure you're never shoddy, and you won't be shoddy tomorrow, will you?
We aren't shoddy. But the thing is, the crowd is such an important part of the experience. So in football, there's this phrase, the 12th man, which refers to the crowd, and it's exactly the same with live music. The crowd have got such a role. Well, some crowds that get it wrong are the kind of crowds that think that they're kind of going along to watch the cinema or something like that. But gigs are very much about the involvement of the crowd.
Oh, we wish you well with the gig tomorrow. I'm sorry we don't have more time, but have a great day.
It's such a pleasure.
The album Antidepressants is out now, and the Suede Takeover at London South Bank Centre until the 19th of September.